it's me, Kari Silver Lining Mena, and I just finished recording a video with Sara to kind of commemorate the 1 year anniversary of Silver Linings. And what we did was we kind of revisited that original topic, which was doing grief differently during the holidays, but we expounded on it a little bit. I kind of wanted it to have an informal vibe. If you guys follow us along on Facebook, you'll know that we always go and have our coffee time together, which I call our shit talking time, and we talked about that a little bit. And I also am including videos of our trip to Virginia, just little bits and pieces, little mini things like when I did with my mom video when I went to California. So feel free to watch that part or not watch that part, but don't rip yourselves off. Make sure you watch the end because I'm sticking our cookie challenge in at the end. I'm also going to post that on the internet just by itself because it was really cute and I like us. So if you just want to get to the meat and potatoes of this, just forward fast a little bit and skip all those videos because she has some really good things to share. And after we finished recording, she remembered something that kind of made her get a little feely, and I said that I would put that in right now. And what she shared with me is another way in which she recreated a really tragic moment for herself through that trip in Virginia. And she remembered that one time, or the time she was going, they were at the airport and they had not one but two canceled flights when she was trying to fly to Denver to, I don't even know what words to use, to investigate, to deal with, to see, to whatever, when her son Adam passed. So in this airport, it was like one of her lowest moments of her whole life. And she sat there for hours crying hysterically. And her husband and her daughter were there, but they were, equally in their own places, grieving and being in a place of disbelief. And she says that a couple people came in and just, put their hand on her just for comfort. They didn't even know what was going on, but clearly she was in a lot of distress. And while that was very sweet of them, it was just such a horrible time. So at the end of today's video, she goes, "Oh, I remembered another way in which I recreated a bad memory." And she goes, that time, waiting for the flights to go see Adam was so devastating, waiting in an airport. But last week with you, during our layover, we had a great time. And that's what our cookie video was about. So rather than associating waiting in airports with the death of her son and that pain, she now also has the memory of waiting in the airport, cutting it up with me. So I feel blessed to have recreated so many memories with her. My shine and sparkle has rubbed off on that girl, and not that she needed it because she was pretty shiny herself, but sometimes when you get the combination and have fun with your friends, it can really change things for you. You don't have to wallow in the sadness. She is a master of recreating. She is a master of doing grief differently. So this was just one more example of a way in which she took a really shitty thing and turned it into something light, shiny, and with a good memory. It doesn't mean she has to, negate those other memories, but she can choose to not stay in that uglier place. Okay, so on that, I got my clapperboard. I want you to go ahead and just take what you can out of this. We mostly just, it was very much like she and I being on one of our coffee dates where we just talk shit. And I talked about our shit talking and how valid and important it is and how I kind of encourage others to do the same. But there's a process to it, so don't just sit there and talk shit. There's a purpose for it. All right, you guys, enjoy this episode of Silver Linings and all of the fun that we had surrounding our trip to Virginia. And action! Thanks, guys. Enjoy. Okay, here is Sara and I don't know what I'm going to use this footage for, but I will be sad if I don't take some. But we almost didn't stop here because it's the Yankee Candle Company, and we just were overpriced candles, but it's a whole village, so come on in. They have Santa here, so there's screaming kids in the background, but look at how festive this is. Oh, you gotta stay with me, remember?
Oh, yes. Okay.
There we go. And wait, we're gonna go put it down, so keep your head down too so the chins work. Look at it, it's sparkly.
It's like, what are you doing?
I gotta make sure we're beautiful at all times. It's the rule. Okay, now we're gonna cross over the Candy Cane Forest Bridge, maybe? I don't know. Goodbye, Narwhal. Oh, wait, okay, here we go. Gotta spin around with me again. Oh my gosh, there's Santa's workshop. We gotta hit it all up. You guys are gonna hate us because we're not gonna stop. Santa! I know him! All right, I'm gonna stop it for now, but I'm gonna turn it back on because I'm in love with this place. Oh wait, we are in Williamsburg, Virginia. Today's our first day and we just decided to just go. This is our first stop.
Beautiful.
It really is. All right, see you soon.
I need like a whole area just to be able to display it.
I feel that we're having a deja vu right now. You told me this story before when we were here. Look at how cute that is. We got Halloween Land.
Where?
Right behind me.
Oh.
Day of the Dead. Look at that. Look how cute that shit is. It would be right after Halloween.
There isn't. It just skipped right over. Look.
Oh my goodness. Went straight to winter. They flipped the switch. All right, hang on, because I'm gonna go look at. Oh, I'm gonna go right now. Here we go, because there's more. There's more sparkles over here. Now we're at the Holiday House.
Hurry. Vicky.
Look at all the twinkles. Oh my gosh, look. Here's the damn Margaritaville. Now we're in Florida. Here's Whoville. Look, Whoville.
Can you believe
Look at that.
they still haven't fixed this?
But they have a Buddy the Elfville. Let's go find it. Look, it started snowing. Look, there's Sasquatch again. Look at that. We are not dressed for the snow. You're so silly. Anyway, I just started. Okay, here I am. I'm with Sarah on our trip to Virginia, and we stopped at a place called Yorktown and just peeked inside this little cave that soldiers would go in for refuge from. She said the bombing. I said the cannonballing.
The bombshells.
Yes, the bomb. And then it's just so peaceful and pretty here. They're doing some restoration work on this house over here, and I don't even know what body of water that is. I don't know if it's a river or part of the ocean or what, but a bunch of men are coming over here to fish, and I'm gonna walk over to this beach, and I'm not sticking my toes in that water, but I guess I feel obligated to touch the water. We're having a really, really nice time, and we've got no schedules. We just get up and go if we want to, and don't if we don't want to. It's been real nice. Uh-oh, she's gonna be the winner, the water winner. I'm gonna fall. Is it coldy?
It's cold, yes.
Oh, all right, I'm gonna go get my own piece. Look at how sweet it is here. I'd love to come hang out here in the summertime, though I'm sure there's not one empty spot of sand.
Isn't it beautiful?
What, your driftwood? You want to take that home? All right, see you at the next stop. Here we are in another part of our journey. We just had lunch. We had some crepes. Never really had crepes that weren't sweet. We had like chicken crepes, but I got all her chicken because she doesn't like beasts in her food. So we're at something called Libby Park. Look at that, we have a big old obelisk thingy. I don't know what to call that. What are you called? I don't know who that is, but you can see got this big view to look at. And look at all the fall. Look at all the leaves. Can you see it? It's hard for me to tell, but that's one of the reasons we chose to come here, because I was hell-bent on seeing some foliage. Oh, this is the James River, as in King James. It's in Jamestown, and even that Bible, the James Bible. So here's the river. There it is. All right. Oh, I'm just going to keep on taking you over here. There are some people that want to talk to me about the Bible truths. Don't waste your breath, boys. Somebody's over there dancing, getting their freaks on. Look at that. Thank you guys for following along. my vacation. Now we stopped at St. John's Church for a minute. This is about as close as I can get to a church. Hurts me. Just kidding. And the tombstones are so old here that you can't even read any of the inscriptions on them. Interesting. Maybe we'll go inside. I see stained glass. Hopefully I won't burn. Alright, I had to do one more video, even though that lawnmower guy's out there. Look at the way those trees grew. Okay, but look how cool that building is. I'd like to see it from the inside and see that sun coming through. Huh?
Oh, I bet we're going to see how we color black.
Yeah. And look at how they've trained these plants to grow. I'm sure it has something to do with whatever's growing on there. What do you think it is? I don't know. Anyway, I'm excited to go in there. Looks fun. Right. See you inside. Oh, we are recording. We are recording. I don't know why. There it goes. It went to small view for a minute. Okay, everybody. Here I am back from a long break from Silver Linings because I've just been busy. I've been going all over the place and just taking care of biz. So I have my friend Sarah with me, and ultimately I had wanted to do this video last week and kind of commemorate the 1-year anniversary of Silver Linings, because last week was 11/22, your two favorite numbers combined, and that was the day we originally released our first Silver Linings, the one where we went to Denver and you created your saddest moments and replaced those with happier times.
Yes.
And we did that again last week in Virginia. Oh my God, I'm already getting feely about it.
I know, because I didn't even associate the dates. You know, when we started talking about it, I didn't even associate it was the same timing.
I know, isn't that something? And we were just talking before we recorded how we don't even realize things when we're in the middle of it. It's not until that hindsight that we put the pieces together, or like you like to say, you connect the dots.
You connect the dots. And I was like, man, that's the beauty of it. And then not to get mad at yourself either, frustrated, because that just a lesson in patience.
Yeah, well, I have a little frustration with myself. I would like to address them a little bit.
Okay.
But I want to go back to last week in Virginia. I want to talk about our trip, because part of this video I'm going to put in all of our nonsense.
Okay.
We made a bunch of little clips, including the cookie one. We came up with, we always like to do nonsense challenges at the end of the videos. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in. But that cookie thing was so funny that I'm going to release it on its own. And we're going to go viral and get rich. I don't know if you can get rich from going viral, but set that intention right now. We might get free cookies from Oreo.
Well, Spirit Airlines may give us some extra bonus points.
That's right. We'll find the little sticker on seat 22.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah, that's right. It was on seat 22.
Yeah,
we
the
were in
airline
27.
usually.
We're in
I'm on
27
the Marry
now.
Me and Fly for Free plan, but because we were traveling on the Friday before Thanksgiving, I decided that it would be a bad idea to fly standby. So we bought tickets, and of course we bought it on the Frugal airline. And it was Spirit Air, and on the flight they announced towards the end that there would be a winner of like a bazillion miles, whoever had a a yellow sticker on their tray, and it was on 22 something.
Yeah, it was on row 22. Yeah, yellow.
On the 22nd.
Yellow jet. That's right.
Yes, and we met. There's a boy in my row named Adam, and he was still 22 on the 22nd, but the next day he was turning 23.
Right.
There's so many little
I know, little things, all that awesomeness, and then with the cookies too. Yeah.
And Sarah and I, we see differently about synchronicities. She loves her syncs, and she thinks that they're like, all God winks from above. But I feel like sometimes a coincidence is just a coincidence. However, I still appreciate them, and it doesn't matter which way it is, because we both get a kick out of it. And having said that, I remember when I did the video with Jason about like signs and pets or whatever. I can't remember what it was exactly, but ultimately what it came down to is that if you associate a sign to something, then it becomes a true sign. So if every time you see your yellow car, you think about Adam. So in turn, you are bringing Adam in.
Yes.
So now automatically that has become a true sign for you. And I want everybody to know that. That's
Yeah.
a great way to
Then
manifest a visit from your loved one.
Right. So that's when the law of attraction kicks in. Like when we
Exactly.
wanted, because we got added to JJ Watt, the NFL player, to his texting, his group texting. And I was so excited. Like, yeah, right. But anyway, so I said, okay, well, we're going to manifest 99s, honoring his jersey number. And we saw 99s immediately, like
all over the place. But Highway 99, mile marker 99.
Everything was 99.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is. It's the law of attraction work with you. And who's to say? That's like saying, which came first, the chicken or the egg?
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. If it makes you feel good and it makes you connected,
yes,
that brings about that two-way communication with source.
Absolutely.
So that we create our own reality.
Start out as a sign that they created for you. You have equal power.
You have equal power.
You go ahead and you create that sign.
Right. And now, you and I have talked about this before, saying, well, okay, well, we're gonna create and manifest bigger things like free pizzas, and we did that. Both of us did it within a week.
The same week, we both got free pizza. I was so proud of you for moving on from like a color pattern to something we can actually, tangibly hold or eat.
Right. But it's just the little things it just lifts me up, and I can stay in that cloud. And that's what keeps me there. So all those little winks all around. Because when you have tunnel vision, when you're in dark, depression, anxiety, worry, funk, whatever, sugar coma, whatever it is, it's hard to notice. You stay in your own bubble. And so you've got to widen your horizon and see the bigger picture. So that's the whole beauty of that. And so you and I are both good with that.
We are good. And one of the things that requires discipline is that you have to choose joy. Sometimes you have to actively choose it. And an easy one for me is just to scroll through my feed and see all the funny animal videos. You can't help but not laugh at some of them.
It's unconditional love, because they're so natural and not planned. Yeah.
And that is kind of like a fake it till you make it thing.
Yeah, well, it's a quick shift. It's a distraction. I like to use the analogy of, like, if you have a 2-year-old coming into your home and you're not prepared for it, you've got to distract them so they don't break and get into all your stuff, right?
Right.
So it's kind of the same thing. You've got to change your framework, change it. Because here's the other thing, especially at the holidays, it comes up, you don't know you're in a negative framework.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know it until you kind of like get thumped on the head and go, I didn't realize I kept thinking about, I just wasted an hour worrying about something and creating that. That's not going to happen. Right.
Yeah.
And so usually, I think we talked about this before, that our worry, if we can't stay present, it just turns into worry.
Yes. And it's so unnecessary to have these kinds of fears. And I'm going to try to put it in, I don't even have one. You might have one, but going to the holidays, I'm going to stick with that, because that's one of the premises of this particular video, is to get through the holidays when you have either some kind of, let's go back to you with Adam, with, your trauma. First several years, first couple, how painful that was to have the absence of him. And that's okay, because, you need to have the process, but you can even, you don't go into the holidays anymore with that worry of dread of going, here's the holidays again, and I'm going to feel horrible because my boy is not here. And, that's a creation based on the past, but you actively sought and chose joy. So give an example of how you, why does this stuff? Oh my gosh, it's weird to me. Sorry. Okay, so what, I just totally derailed this. But what do you do in order to change your sadness into current joy, despite the fact that he is not with you?
Sadness is not, I don't even go there. So if there is a sad movie or something sad, if I am not in a good place, I don't even put myself in that position. You know what I mean? I don't put and that's part of the law of attraction. I don't want to be attracted to those other people who are super sad. And that's the purpose of my Facebook group too, is to be more uplifting, because there's plenty of sad groups out there, which are warranted and needed, right? Because people need to share their stuff and, and feel listened to, so different ways is, well, since I communicate with them, that's my first go-to. I'll talk to them. I'll ask them. I'll ask for a corny joke or something. Well, but for those who are not, hearing those, you can ask for the signs and say, I'm going to associate, okay, this is rare. I'm just going to can of cream corn just came up. You and I have talked about that. Oh, God. So you can come up with these little inside jokes with your loved ones. It doesn't have to be something you have to share with anyone else because it's none of their business unless you feel confident and strong enough to share it, because they might not accept it or it might not be well received.
Right.
So you've got to decide. So that's where you've got to come up with your own ways of creating new memories with them and new thought patterns with them still in there, because all of us revert back to what we think death is on how we were raised. We all, everything in life, we can revert back to old ways. So we have to create new patterns and new memories. Like you and I create new memories around different things. So then we
share.
Go back.
When we were in Virginia, we went to the Busch Gardens because it was decorated for Christmas, and I just thought it was lights. I didn't know there was going to be rides and everything. I was like a little kid. I was so happy that day. I'm going to start crying in. But one of the first things we did, because I was like, ooh, I want to do it all. We walked right in and got there right on time for some cheesy Scrooge musical. It was a little cheesy. But here's Sarah next to me, and she's singing and humming all the carols. You don't even know this. I would have to go like this. And I would be crying over the side because I was like, I love that girl so much. Listen to her and her sappy singing. But when we left that thing, you told me this story about how Scrooge, that was called A Christmas Carol, reminded you of the time that Adam missed the show and how sad you were about that. And it was just, it didn't like bring you down too much, but it was like kind of a bummer as opposed to joy. So this was an opportunity for you to now associate A Christmas Carol with joy, because we really did have fun that day.
Yeah, so we're like the two little kids. Yeah, so you're right. Replace, and I do know, right, a lot of people are avoid those triggers. So had it been for someone, another person, they may say, oh, I'll never watch the Christmas Carol again, or anything associated. They'll have sadness with it instead of replacing it.
Like
so that's
you
the beauty
said,
of swirling.
I will never go to Denver, Colorado again.
Yes.
And then you did, and you changed it all.
And you helped me with that, because I vowed when I left Colorado with my son's body that I would never return. And so when I met you, you just returned from Denver.
Right.
From Colorado.
And
so it was like we had talked about that, and it's like, okay, I have to replace it. I knew I needed to, so I wouldn't go back to that. That's like saying I'll never go to that restaurant because I had a special meal there.
You deny yourself.
You deny yourself.
You deny yourself joy because you choose to stay locked in the sadness. And I'm not judging anybody for it or picking on them for it, but you and I are so shiny that we just have a mission to make everybody happy. And this is a little funny thing that Sarah and I started doing. And I can't remember how it even started, but somebody put a sad emoji as as a reaction to something that should not have been sad.
Like was it a
funny
mistake
to us. So we created that sad emoji, crying one, and even that makes us happy. So she will send me something funny and I'll put a sad face on it. It basically means thumbs up to us, but we've even turned that sad guy into something full of joy.
Right, like they shouldn't even, to me, in my reality, they shouldn't have the crying emoji.
Right. But you know what?
I mean, it's okay.
Legit.
It's okay. It is legitimate. So. But it's like, you know how sometimes people will put a post about something and you go, oh yeah. And then everyone has a different take on it or direction. And you're like,
I know. I get haters for my sweet and silly animal videos. Animal cruelty. I'm like, you know what? Even if you see that side of it, can you not at least appreciate that I'm sharing it to show joy and laughter and not to like offend PETA or whatever?
Right. So that's why I said we can swirl it. We're like chocolate vanilla swirl. We just kind of, back to the Oreos. We just take it higher and say, you know what? I want to focus on what makes me feel better. Period.
And you know, you said that people will avoid things in order to avoid the triggers. And I see that, but I'm going to flip that around. And I also want people to know that you don't have to go into those triggers. For example, I haven't spent a holiday with like my extended family in years. And my family parties were actually real nice. I do miss them, but because there's just been so much family drama, they just won't be like they once were. And, I don't get along with my mom. So for me, I gave myself permission to not force myself to interact with people that I just don't vibrate anymore. And I can hear so many people say, well, I can't not show up to my mom's for Christmas. Yeah, you actually can stay
It's a
home
choice.
or go to the beach or whatever you want. You don't have to do things that you don't want to do that don't feel good. You just have to understand the reasons for your resistance. Is it because you're shying away from growth, or is it because there's no more growth there, so why put yourself into a toxic situation?
Yeah, no, that's a great point, because that's what it comes down to, and whatever you focus on. And even if you decide you're going to go to some family function that you're hesitant about, if you keep dreading it, guess what's going to happen?
Yes, because you attract what you focus on. So even if you say, I don't want to have a shitty time, I don't want to have a shitty time, you're constantly thinking about the shitty time. That's what the universe will give you, is the shitty time. So keep your thoughts light.
And sometimes it'll be, if it is something in your soul's plan for you to learn, whether it's patience, forgiveness, or whatever, they may provide it. The universe somehow is just going to circle around and provide you a different situation. It may not be a family holiday gathering. It might be a total situation, another situation. You're going to go, ooh, and it takes you back to that feeling, right? That same emotion. So, because our higher selves want us to be the best version we can of ourselves. And a lot of times we resist it because we want control of everything, right?
Yes, we don't want it to be the way that we forget as humans that we are connected to our higher selves. And when we talk about because I'm going through this right now, when you talk about free will, it's not always entirely this person's free will. You may have a choice to avoid a certain circumstance, but that your higher self intended for you to have this lesson. So you can avoid it here, but it's just going to bring it back right here.
Right.
So
and that's okay. Right. Or a lot of people say, oh, I felt, this sense of this urgent message from my grandmother in spirit, but I couldn't figure it out. And it's like, okay, relax into it. It's okay. If there was a message, somehow it's going to return back to you if it's important.
I've become so much more patient, because I booked a reading with Heather, and she's like, well, when do you want to do it? And I'm like, I don't know. Because I've learned that when I get to a place of feeling like I need a reading, like I have like burning questions I want to know right now, I kind of like to put that reading off for a week or whatever, because so much information will come to me.
Yeah.
And then I can work out my own shit. And then when the reading comes around, it's more or less about validation. But you don't need to push things, because things will fall in. And,
It's like you've got to make this space in there, because when we want or need is very tight, very rigid, right? And with the aura, it looks like angel wings.
But this kind of reminds me, I'm kind of segueing into the next thing I wanted to talk about. We can go all over the place, because this is basically.
That's how we do.
That's what we do. This is basically Sara and I, what I like to call shit talking, because we meet each other up with each other weekly. And we joke, because we have like the little coffee creamers stacked up in a pyramid, like we're playing coffee pong or whatever. But we sit there for hours and we just purge all of our shit. We make our judgments and we just growl about, our family shit or our internet shit, whatever it is. But that's not for the sole purpose of just complaining. It's for working shit out, finding the reason for that judgment or that negative thought, and transmuting it into either understanding or propelling us forward or whatever it is. So when people say, let it go, absolutely, but you really can't let some things go until you've processed them and worked through them. Yeah. Because if you say, I've let that go, but it's still festering in your subconscious, that's not letting it go.
Yeah, right. That comes up quite often. So for me, it is a daily process where I've got to go in. And we just stayed together for a whole week. I have to have downtime. I've got to go in. I have to have downtime to go in. Because if I don't, it's almost like I have to do my own life review daily. Things that are coming up, or I won't fall asleep, or I won't. That stuff keeps replaying. So I kind of have to go through that. So you and I get together. It helps because you know, we're in this kind of same place, so we can help shift it back and forth. And it's kind of like, I don't know, from one soul to another. It's like, okay. And then you feel better. It's just a release.
Absolutely. It's a release. It's not only just figuring shit out, because to be honest, by the time I get to you at that coffee shop, I've already more or less figured out, but I still got to get it out. I still got to purge it. And that purging also helps put things into perspective that last little bit.
And that caffeine gives us a big boost.
Give our buzz. But, you know, that goes right along with, you know, whether it's you and I working things out about our personal shit together, or just working it out in yourself. It's still a process, and it's okay to have the negative thoughts, the yuckiest thoughts, because there's a reason you feel that way. We are human beings.
Right. It's just swirling it till you feel better about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because just think, if you don't, it's like you're carrying around a suitcase in each hand of just crap.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. You know, it's kind of like when you have a big meal with a lot of bread.
Oh, that's the next thing.
Oh,
Sarah, if we were at the coffee shop right now, I would be whining and bitching about the weight I've gained. How did you do in Virginia? Did you?
I did fine. My weight was fine, and I told myself I was going to work out at least twice at that gym, and I didn't.
You ate a bag of M&Ms?
I had a whole bag.
In a pie.
Yeah, and
bumbleberry.
A big piece of bumbleberry pie.
I gained weight.
I felt just a toxic food buildup kind of thing in me. Does that make sense?
Me too. You know what?
I wasn't eating homemade foods. I was eating lots of salt and stuff.
And we were eating a lot of food. We didn't really have leftovers. We'd finish our plates, and that's something that that's another topic we can kind of segue into, and is that you know, I have a cap of my weight because I have to monitor the scale. I mean, my weight control for me is one of my life's purposes, and I don't really know. Maybe it symbolizes control in other areas. I don't know. But it is a constant challenge. Body manipulation is very hard, and it's one of the things that humans come in to learn for whatever reason. And I just can't, I can believe how shitty I feel. And I don't mean physically, but emotionally. I'm so disappointed in myself, and I'm totally out of my comfort zone. I can compare how good I felt like a year ago when I was losing the weight to how disappointed I am in myself having put some back on. And I didn't mind a little bit, but when you go overboard, you can't do that. You got to find balance. So and another thing is that I know, and I want everybody to understand this in everything in life, that you won't make a change until you get to that maxed out place. So if I've gained 3 pounds, I can live with that. I'm not going to beat myself up. But when I go and gain 12 plus pounds, I'm not happy about that. And that's the only way, when you get to that place of being unhappy, that you will make a change.
Right. You got to have something inspire you to move forward.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's a little silver lining of the discomfort I'm feeling. So even though I'm like half beating myself up about it, I'm also being grateful that I'm back to that place. So after Thanksgiving.
After Thanksgiving.
Get back on that wagon.
That's Friday.
Right.
Okay. That's in a couple days.
Right. I'll do it too, because I really have got to that place. I've been there before, and I can make that commitment.
Right.
And all of you can too.
Yeah.
I'm not the only one with weight issues and, you know, body issues. So make that commitment. It's a total choice.
And diet is really, really tied to our emotions, what we're eating. Because you can have a very thin person who has they've got some issues going on in their body. So it's really quality of food equals quality of thoughts, and you just got to find. And when you're eating better, you just feel better. You just, as a whole, you just feel better.
You know what? I gotta say that I've always claimed that I don't really feel the effects of food unless I eat like 58 cookies, and I will feel sick. So that's why I rely on that scale, because that allows me to get to that place. So, and I'm only throwing this out there because I know that there's other people like me. I remember Jerry, she'd eat one bite of bread and she'd be sick. I'd eat a loaf of bread and be ready for a second one.
But see, then the universe helps us with our different things with our food and our addiction and everything else, what works for our body. And, I'm very salt sensitive. I'm very salt sensitive, and then
What
I regret
happens?
it.
You just like
My
swell
hands
up?
blow up. My eyes, my feet. It's just like, dang. Other people can eat salt; it doesn't affect them.
Oh no, I eat a half a pound of bacon for breakfast. That's
Right.
I need to get back on my coffee and bacon diet. That's my mistake. I got 2 pounds in the fridge.
Or sugar makes me sleepy.
Mhm.
So it's just getting in tune with that. Other people it doesn't affect, so figure out what affects you or what doesn't.
I bet it does
we
affect
all
me.
know.
It's just subtle.
Or you all know if you journal it and say, okay, this is what I ate yesterday or today, and then you can look back and how did I feel? Did I feel bloated? Did I feel, all that kind of stuff comes up. Because look, it's $1 billion business. Tums and Rolaids and all those other. It's $1 billion business.
And the sugar and the diet pills and everything in between. It's
Sugar causes all kinds of havoc in our bodies, but that's probably, I'm going to say, I don't know for sure, number one addiction in America is sugar because it's in everything.
Remember when we were in Virginia, what they said, was it Queen Victoria or Elizabeth? Elizabeth.
Yes, because I was a seer for Queen Elizabeth I.
That's right.
Right?
That's and I'm a big liar seer. You should have told her. But before that time, I don't know history, but a long, long time ago, we didn't have sugar. So they ate, pure
in the American diet.
They ate a bunch of bacteria and got sick and died. But then sugar got discovered. Right. And all of modern Europe at the time got highly addicted to sugar, and they didn't understand the effects of dental decay.
Yes.
So Queen Elizabeth, it was so gross. She had such rot in her mouth that she'd shove in herbs just to help with her breath.
Yes.
So
and
that
right?
And that's our norm now is all of this sugar. We just take better care of our teeth. And not too long ago, Heather trans-channeled Voltaire, and he was eating a muffin that she had, and he's like, this just doesn't taste. I go, does it taste like chemicals? He goes, yeah, it tastes like fake food. We don't even notice it anymore.
You get acclimated. It's kind of like if you detox from all fast food restaurants, I'm just going to say McDonald's, all of those. And then if you were to go have something, you're like, this doesn't even taste like real food.
I know, you really do acclimate, because for that whole week in Virginia, I was drinking the regular sugar-filled coffee cream. I came home, I'm back on my Splenda, and I have to get used to that little bitty after. It's not bad. I can handle it, but I noticed it.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see.
The holidays. So you're tying in the weight because this is normal for Americans, but
this is crunch time
from Halloween all the way through New Year's.
That's absolutely right. And
the diet is so focused on food here in the States.
Food is everything. We use food to celebrate. We use food to medicate, and food is so huge. And I told myself when I lost all that weight, I will not fall into the trap of the holidays. And I didn't necessarily fall into the trap of the holidays, but I did fall into the trap of vacation.
And here we are in colonial Williamsburg with lots of fun foods.
I know. We had coupons and discounts and somebody.
So we did good. Yeah. So Kari and I are so good about you wanting to use coupons and save. I mean, not to the point where we disappoint. It's not like we went hungry.
I don't feel like we missed out on anything.
But it was like, we can do this. We are smart enough and to put our intent out there that a coupon or a discount, something's going to come and line up with us, just like Busch Gardens, not knowing it was opening weekend. So it was 60% off or something?
Yeah, we got a huge discount on that.
We wouldn't have gone had it been full price because it wouldn't have been.
I wouldn't have gone for us because there was all these historical museums and they were each $25 to get into, and I'm not big on that stuff anyway. And I'm like, nope, I'm not going. Not even if you treat. I don't want to spend that kind of money. But if they had a coupon, if it was $50 to get in, they had a buy one get one free for $25. I'd gone for that.
Right. So, but then we can say, well, the universe was directing us. We already put our intent out what we like. And look at all the free stuff we got to do.
I know, we got the free car upgrade. There was just so many things. So that lunch special with the crate, that was fun.
Yeah, so we had all kinds of fun treats that, and we didn't worry. We didn't have an agenda. Yeah. It was a vacation from a vacation. It's really what it was.
It really was. And Sarah and I are especially lucky that we just get along so well. And we had a nice condo because I'm a wheeler and dealer, and I found us a nice big 2-bedroom place to stay in on the cheap. But even still, here we are in like what you call like a small 2-bedroom apartment together for a week. And we can spend several hours together. We can spend a weekend together, but this was like the test. And we did just fine. I could tell by the end that we were both not done with each other, but just done with the trip.
Yeah, just
tired. We were done. We wanted to go home. But how lucky are we to be able to spend a whole week in close quarters and not have any kind of conflict or feeling like, I can't stand this girl.
Right? Like,
we got along great.
Yeah, and then when we're through, like if we're done at 8:00 at night, we each go to our separate bedroom and see you early in the morning.
Obligated to entertain one another. I'm just be like, I'm gonna go take a nap now. See you in 5 hours, and that's how it went. Great.
Right? Yeah, it was
so
great. It was,
there,
and it wasn't busy there. It was very cold.
Mm-hmm.
As you see in the amusement park photos, we had like 5 layers on.
We did.
And that's okay. It worked. It worked.
All right. I don't even know how long we've been talking, but I want to go back to just to recap holidays and grief and doing it differently, because that really is Sarah's, spiritual teaching purpose. I feel, there are many pieces to you, but when we teach online, your thing is to teach how to do it differently. And you're just such a fucking master about it. I love it. There's so many people that are going to be judgy, whiny and crying this holiday season. And by all means, you go have your tears. But I want you to really embrace what Sarah is saying about how you don't have to be there. Just like I can choose to not eat that cookie, you can choose to not put yourself in that sad place. Find a way to reassociate something that was once sad and find joy in it. You don't even have, like that whole Scrooge or Christmas Carol thing. Adam didn't have anything to do with me. It was like a completely different association. It's not like you had to recreate the moment with Adam in order for it to be better. It was just you had to recreate it for you. For it to be better. And you can do this with everything.
Right. And if you're open to it, the universe will provide. Yes.
And don't beat yourself up if you are not there yet, because everybody learns and grows in their own time.
Right.
And, I'm processing something right now that I'm in such a huge place of resistance. And I get that there's a silver lining on the other end, but I haven't crossed that threshold yet. And I'm okay. I'm being patient with myself because I will get there when I get there. And that goes for all of you. Just have that intention there that you want to overcome it.
And every time we go through something and we capitalize on the good parts, it's like we become more resilient.
Yeah.
So it's not like we don't have other things that happen to us. Just this, we can handle it differently because we've already learned from it. So because it's not like once you're spiritual, it's like it's a master's degree or something. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that. It is a daily balance of processing, and whatever your soul needs is going to come up. So if you can say, well, what can I learn from this? Why am I being rewarded with this experience instead of being, battered with torment and everything else? Kind of have to spin it and go, okay, I'm going to turn this mess into a masterpiece so I can sleep easily. That's your ultimate goal.
I'm going to put what you just said into practice, because I really don't know, like the purpose, the soul lesson to me putting that weight back on. I don't really know what it is, but there probably is something there. I don't know. But anyway, I will embrace that challenge.
Yeah. Maybe and we had fun, and it was comfort. Know that you can, and you can take it off.
Yeah.
And women, we eat out of emotion, too. We do. Instead of having a half a slice of bread, we have to have
we ate the whole fucking loaf of Trader Joe's sourdough, and it wasn't even that good.
Oh, I gave both ends to the squirrels. But we did. We utilized it because we didn't want it to go to waste. And that's something you and I have in common now. Almost like we lived during the Depression age. We didn't know when our next meal was coming.
We're pioneers, so we had to eat it.
No wonder I like dough. That's right.
But I could go back then. I'm going to process a little bit right here through you. And, I believe that at least people that have chosen to have body issues, weight issues as part of their evolution. I believe that when you feel the outside matches the inside.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
If I'm feeling, I am going through some shit. I am pushing through some stuff. So I am eating my emotions. So in that sense, it makes sense for me to kind of slip because I'm not in the best place I could be. However, I have complete faith that I will push through this. And I also know that when I make that conscious choice and put the work in, then I will, go back to a more satisfying weight. But so many people just wish for it to happen. You can wish, absolutely, create that stuff in your mind. But if you don't do the work, the universe matches you. It doesn't do it for you. So you have to. Uh-oh, I lost your audio. I have no idea what happened, but it even said on my screen, you have a bad connection. So,
I didn't do anything.
There you are. You came back.
I didn't do anything. Because I am.
Just the way it is. All right. I do think I'll wrap this up, though, but I'm going to invite you to share some wisdoms with us.
Ooh, wisdom. Let's see. Corny
any?
wisdom?
She got some damn corn. That's what she's going to spew out.
The Yule log. What is the Yule log? Is that like a cake or a fruit cake thing or something, a Yule log?
Well, I don't even know. One time I had it, my cousin had an actual cake log. He called it the Yule log. We ate it like that turkey cake you posted. It was a log cake. It was delicious.
Be creative. For those of you, the wisdom is find inspiration, and that's where you're going to connect with your loved ones over the holidays. Like being in your creative place, whether it's decorating Charlie Brown trees, like Kari and I were going to do. Go back into those childlike places so you can kind of detach from the hurts of your loved one, if missing your loved one, and go back in that creative places where you're going to get that juice running and come up with ways and go, oh, what? I'm going to make a Christmas ornament honoring my loved one. I am going to make their favorite cookies, or write a letter to your loved one, honoring them on the holidays, because they will be there helping you. I mean, almost to the point where you can feel when you're doing writing that you can feel like their essence on your arm. If you're doing longhand or on the keyboard, allow that space to allow them to come in, because if you keep saying they're not here or they're gone or they're lost, that's just that's what you're providing the universe.
I think also that when you have that attitude, I don't even think that's true, because I think your loved ones are probably like shaking you by the shoulders saying, I'm right here. But because it's your thought processes, it becomes your personal reality.
Yes.
And I know everybody gets to have their own reality and their own truth, but sometimes they're just incorrect, because to say, oh, well, I don't have any angels or guides and nobody on the flip side loves me. That is a fallacy.
Right? Because people don't want to go to the unknown. It can kind of be scary.
Well, there's that. And then people just, for whatever reason, enjoy wallowing. And I think, because, I wallowed for a long time in the depths of my purging through my twin Michael. It's like I didn't even want to leave the comfort of that. And that's so weird to me that ugly, scary, hurtful, painful place also felt comfortable. So,
but that takes you back to your teenage days, doesn't it? Or when you were younger?
Oh, it was everything. It's like a lifetime's worth of shit.
Hurting ourselves, because I know I've done that too. Mentally abuse myself, beat up myself when I'm not in a feel-good place. Like, let me out. But yet I wanted to stay there.
Yeah.
So you have to know.
I think they want to stay sometimes in their grief because it makes them feel connected to the loved ones they lost. And that I think they also feel obligated to stay sad because it's a tragedy when you lose somebody. So we are here to tell you to give yourself permission to let go of those more sad feelings in favor of something more positive.
Right, because that's where you're going to connect and feel them more. is when you lift your vibes a little bit out of that dark, icky feeling, and then you're going to feel them shaking you. Say, wake up, and to know that tomorrow is another day. So if by all means, if you feel like you are just deep down in it, go rest, go take a nap, go to sleep, go do something to
go
distract
watch my wall at the funny animal
Right.
videos.
Do something to distract you. Hit that reset button.
Yes.
Hit that reset button and like a do-over, because it's like a diet. You don't have to wait till Monday, which we all say, right? I'll wait till Monday,
Friday.
We can hit that reset button at any given moment, but it's up to us to do it, right? So you have helpers all around you, but really it's still you have to do it. You have to do it. And but you can feel their energy and their essence helping you. But a lot of us want to put our Fred Flintstone heels down and go, you know, and
I'm going to speak for those that don't feel it, because I understand the frustration of when people say, but I don't connect and I can't talk to them like you do. And the people that do say, yes, you can.
Yeah.
Well, and I believe you can. I believe everybody can, but we don't always. So for those that are sitting here saying, Sarah, I don't feel it.
You signs and
that they're
symbols.
still there, whether you feel it or not. Just know it. It's a fact. And also know that baby steps, it will get better. We see people on the internet that are like going on a decade and still in their grief in place of victim. And again, it's their choice. It's their soul's lesson, whatever. There is no right and wrong. But being the people you and I are, we want to shake the stab right out of them.
Right. Because that's what's going to help the whole planet. If we could all change our view and do grief differently, in turn, it helps change our view of doing life differently. And then we're helping everyone and the future generations and our past lives, everything.
Can you imagine
everything?
What the world would be like if, well, I'm going to use the star, you know, the ETs, they understand, you know, lots of species do, but because I'm friends with them, I get it, that they don't mourn death the way we do, because they still have that you know, they know that death is not the end. It's just a different life. It's just a different place that you're in. And if the whole world knew that, it'd be a different place.
Yeah. Just think how it would change everything from crimes to everything. It would change everything. It would change everything. But those are all those little nuggets. We were all, or I was, most people in America were raised to know that there was a heaven or something. You know, but yet we don't apply it. Right. You know, that's just in other countries they do, other cultures, everyone's different. But until you are in the midst of it and are faced with it, then that's where those choices come up. You got to make constant choices, better choices, just follow what feels better, not what feels worse. Sometimes you got to go through the worst part to get to see the light.
Absolutely.
Like diet or anything. You got to go, okay, I know how it feels, how I feel when I am 10 pounds lighter.
Yeah.
That's my goal.
Yeah. And you do have to go through that shit talking process to get to the other side, because it's not a switch.
Some people do need medications, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But I do, for me, I can tell when I'm chemically imbalanced is a lot of times by the food and things I'm taking in like that. Then I feel out of balance, and I go, oh, if I just take some of these, you know, we call fake foods. What do you have there?
My phone is buzzing.
Okay. Fake foods out. I already feel better, mentally feel better. So I can imagine how it affects some of these kids these days that are they don't even know what fresh food is in the States, you know? So, you don't know it until you've been through it and come out of it.
Yes. Well, were we talking earlier about that hindsight?
And 2020 is just around the corner.
So we're going to have it all figured out in like 2 months.
But truly, look for those signs. Like we talked about basic, like Kari and I did with the 99. If you feel like, I know people will say, oh, I haven't gotten a sign, or I'm begging for a sign and not seeing it. It's because first off, you got to believe it. So you've got to, your thoughts have to match what it's got to be in the right vibration. You can't say, well, that one doesn't count, or I'm not sure about that, or, you know what I mean? You got to really go in and feel it.
Don't be so specific too. Leave it wide open. Like Jason's grandma is a red bird. It's not just the red bird that flies and lands on the fence outside. think it's just,
Yeah. It's kind of like,
it's the
yeah,
red bird that you see on the greeting card in the store. It's the red
That's
bird
right.
on the Hallmark commercial.
It's the Cardinals baseball team.
There you
for God's
go.
sakes.
It's all over the place. Yeah.
So so build that. That's what I like to teach in private sessions too, is help them build their own symbol book and visual book, because then you can add on, just like you're teaching a 1-year-old or 2-year-old, you know, a letter, right? Or a symbol. So kind of like add on. You got to go back. It's not that they're not communicating with you. You've got to learn how to communicate with them.
Yes, because you have power too. That's one of the most profound things I learned on doing the Shiny show, and it was with Rasputin. He told me that
who's got gorgeous eyes.
He was learning from us, and that floored me because, you know, I was still new in my understandings. I thought that was it. When you're on the flip side, you were omnipotent. You knew everything, but that's not true. So we hold. I had somebody message me the other day. Can you ask Eric to ask the archangels to go help so-and-so? And I was like
what?
I was like, don't give me that power. First of all, you can ask Eric, or you can skip Eric and you can go straight to the archangels, or you can skip the archangels and go straight to God, or you can skip all of them and just send love yourself. You have power.
Thank you for saying that, because that is so, you'd be surprised. Because many of us were not raised into stepping into our power. So that's what this awakening is about.
It is.
Each of us waking up and cleaning up our shit. That's what it is. And feeling good about ourselves.
Self-empowerment is synonymous with self-love. To me, it's like the same thing, because we're both striving towards that place, and gaining self-power is gaining self-love. When you get to that place of having no more fucks to give, you have made it.
And this time you're going to have days where you go a couple steps forward and a little bit back. That's normal, but that's you judging. That's you judging yourself. That's no one telling you.
Yes.
That's still you judging yourself.
So I want to go back to that self-judgment. I am self-judging myself right now, but I feel like it's a necessary process in order for me to get to what's next. I'm judging myself for the weight I've put on, but I'm figuring out why I got there, or what I'm going to do about it, how I'm going to solve it, how I'm going to make myself feel better. Because I am not going to sit there and wallow in it. I'm not going to be a victim of it. I made the choice to put the food in my mouth. I'm going to make the choice.
Right.
Yeah. So
and that's just the daily process.
I can't blame anybody. Not Virginia, not your cooking. That's good soup. I can't blame anybody.
It's exactly like I'm making pies tomorrow. I'm supposed to make 2 fruit pies. Well, what am I doing? I'm making 3. That's my own doing. That's my own logic. So, I'll have leftovers.
What did you say?
See what I mean? I'm not making. I was gonna make the bumbleberry pie.
Yeah.
But I'll save that for us for Christmas. I'll make it or when we go to Kaz party, maybe I'll do that.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm gonna make a peach apple combination and then a strawberry rhubarb.
Ooh.
Because those are 2 that I like.
Okay. Yeah, you make the ones you like.
They're pretty good.
Put the effort in. You make the.
And the lemon. My other one's lemon. My third one's lemon.
Like what? Like lemon meringue or what?
I haven't made meringue in so long. So if my meringue fails, I'll just put like whipped cream on it.
Is it like a lemon? Is it gonna be like lemon, like pudding-ish? You know, like jelly?
Yeah. And you never had lemon meringue? Let's talk about pies.
Fuck that dieting. Put on another pound. I want Sarah's pie.
Well, we didn't talk about how hard it was to find pie in Colonial Williamsburg. We thought Thanksgiving we'd find pie everywhere because they talk about pies and everything with pies on the windows. Everything with pie on the menu was pizza pie, which we don't call it that in Texas, right? So it was like, and then that last day I said, we're going to find a place that has pie. We found all the stores had pumpkin and pecan to buy.
Right.
But I was wanting homemade pie. I thought, I associate it with pilgrims and that's what I do.
Not only that, but we got rerouted and not really lost, but the Google robot lady did not send me on the path I wanted to go. So in our detour, there it is on the right side, and we go in and we hear that it is the Mad Daddy place to get pie in all of Virginia.
Right, it's this little tiny little like wood shed.
There's a shack, the pie shack.
And this lady that was sitting there, who sat there the whole time we were there, still trying to figure out which ones to order for Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. She was still just looking at the pie menu, deciding on which pie she wanted. And the ones I think that I couldn't decide was between there was a blueberry And then when I saw the bumbleberry or bumble pie, I was like,
How
what
do
the
you
heck is
bumble?
that out? I gotta try it. Which is
Ate
mixed
that
berry.
thing on the way home.
It's like, I know, because I kept thinking, is there really such thing as a bumbleberry? Just my mind's going, what is this?
Sarah, every time we had a question, it was so funny because I was the driver. She'd be like, I'll find out. Kari? she was like a plethora of useless knowledge that we had to find everything out. What is the main things that people study at the Mary and William College? I mean, she didn't know everything. And you guys are gonna
neat town. What a neat town.
Yes. So on that, I'm gonna wrap up this plethora of useless bullshit that we just went through. I'm just kidding.
We just went through lots of feathers.
Somebody will get something out of this video.
Yeah.
But I'm also going to tack on all of those other little touristy things. So if you just have to suffer through how much fun we had on our little video.
They can learn about why people had tooth decay.
Yes, very important stuff.
It ran rampant. That's right, in the settlements. Yeah. That's right.
And don't forget, watch the whole thing. I'm gonna put the cookie one at the end.
Okay, yeah, the cookie one. You have to watch the Oreo cookie on the Spirit Airlines concourse. Yes.
Right, but I'm still gonna post. I'm gonna post it tomorrow. It is my Thanksgiving gift to the world.
And then there's 10 cookies, and I ate all the leftovers too, so we can get on the plane.
Still ain't gaining weight. See, because you're not worried about it, and I am. Yeah, so I focused on that and brought myself a bunch of fat.
Okay, but look, on that 6-hour layover, I walked probably 4 hours of it.
You did. I'm like doing work, and she's at each gift shop 15 times. It looks exactly the same.
But you know why?
5 minutes ago.
I felt this push to keep looking, and I thought it was just to keep my mind and my body moving so my back wasn't sore. It was for those darn those Oreos. They were in this corner over by the beer nuts or something. So anyway.
Oh, you didn't get me any beer nuts.
No.
She did say she was going to go find me a treat, and I'm like, okay, go. There was a little boy there on his tablet. He sat there for like 4 hours like a good little boy. He was better behaved than Sarah was.
It's like we're in Orlando, we're in Mickey Mouse.
Yes.
Anyway, it was a great time.
Thank you, Sarah. I'm going to wrap this up and put all our shit together and put it out in a couple weeks. All right, you guys, have a great holiday season.
Yes, happy holidays. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, guys. Sarah's bored. She's gone to every gift shop about 7 times. Yep. So we decided we're going to do a video later in the week about grief and the holidays and all that bullshit. But we always like to have some kind of challenge at the end. So I looked for one on the internet, and we found the Oreo cookie challenge. So rather than do it, we could still, we don't know how this is going to come out. So we're going to try it. We're just going to be a little bit silly. And I made a post today about trying to find the light behind the dark with a simple twist.
And we got
So what you're going to do is take an Oreo cookie, twist the dark off, and look what happens. You find the light.
Push it out.
Oop. I just broke in half.
Okay, you get a redo.
No, that's okay. You only need half, and I got a good half here. Yes, you're just supposed to do half the cookie. Okay. Oh. That's what she did. So you're going to take this disc.
That's what she did?
That's what she did. And then you're going to put it on your forehead.
Do we get to put the sticky part on our forehead?
I don't know. I'm going to do the back side because I wonder if it's too sticky. I don't know. Anyway, the premise is you got to put this cookie on your head, and without touching it, I don't know which way to go. You have to move your face, and whoever gets it in their mouth first.
Okay. On your mark, get set, go.
It's down my nose. Uh-oh. It's on my eye. I got one eye. Are you doing it? Oh, my lashes are helping you. Oh, man, I almost had it. I'm going to eat a dirty cookie.
Oh, wait.
I don't care. Oh, shut up. 3-second rule. Okay, here I go again. You can't use me for a wall. This is not bumper bowling. This is not bumper cookie challenge. You know, I'm so vain about myself. I don't know how I'm going to be able to post this. I gotta stick my tongue out and catch it.
Oh wait, almost.
Okay.
Almost. I'm not even gonna watch. I'm gonna try to compete.
Oh! Oh, damn it. It's under your shoe. Okay,
He's
got
like a
it.
big growth.
The growth.
Oh. Let's try the other eye this time. I got it. You got it? Oh, Sarah finally won a challenge. Hang on, I gotta finish what I started. My dirty cookie. I love you.